Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I am going to be making sweet potato pie. Now, it's not my favorite, but I figured since the holidays are coming up, and I don't know about you guys, but at my table it is always sweet potato pie for dessert. So this is gonna be like super easy. I'm gonna whip it up for you guys, and first I want to shout out my socks, my Yeezy socks. A couple people asked me about them, and these socks came from Loose Cannon brand, so I will tag them down at the bottom if anybody is interested in those. And let's get started. So as you can see, I already have a sweet potato out, and then I already have one that in the bowl that I already peeled. So first thing, I did 4 sweet potatoes, and I boiled them in a big pot for about 45 minutes until they got soft. So I just already like started the peeling process. So it's really hot when they come out, and I usually just run it under cold water. And once you run it under cold water, this stuff like just comes apart like crazy. But you want to make sure you pull off like all the little strings and stuff, and just all the peel from the sweet potato. And then you just want to kind of break it up in there a little bit. It's literally still hot, so just want to kind of break that up in there, and then put all your scraps off to the side. And of course, I'm using my custom cutting board that I love so much, and I will put that in the description box too if you're interested in getting a custom cutting board. Oh, wrong place. So I'm just gonna peel these real quick, and as you can see, I'm hardly doing any work. They're literally just peeling off on their own. So I'm gonna make sure I get all the little strings out. Like these sweet potatoes, of course, come from the ground, so it has like a ton of like strings and stuff if you don't see it. So yeah, I'm not a real big sweet potato. The only time I usually use sweet potatoes if I make yams. Other than that, not my favorite, but my family really enjoys it, so I decided to do this video today. So then I'm going to get my last sweet potato out, and this is just a little one. And like I said, I did 4 big ones, and I just boiled them until they were soft. So, and while you're doing that, like when you're waiting for them to boil, it's best to just like gather all your ingredients so that you're ready, and also preheat your oven to 350. So now that I am done with that, my sweet potatoes. So as I'm giving this like a little breakup in there, you want to make sure it's not too big pieces, because then you're gonna get your blender out. And I have my blender right here. So you get your blender out, and then you're just going to put them down in there, turn it on, and blend them. Now you don't have to, and of course it makes a mess. So you don't have to completely blend them all the way, because you're going to use it again once you start mixing all your ingredients. And like I said, it is messy. So go ahead and blend. Okay. So after you get that blended, you want to start with your dry ingredients first. And my dry ingredients that I'm going to start with is just some cinnamon and some nutmeg, and that is a ½ teaspoon of that. So I'm just going to give that a shake in there. And I always like to measure my ingredients out, because trust me, you can ruin a whole recipe if it is not measured out. So that's that. And then I have a cup of sugar. And then I have some brown sugar. So, and I will definitely put that in the description box down there, like how much my ingredients are. And I just want to, you know, get all of that mixed around in there. It seems like they're going to be really sweet, but they are called sweet potato pie. So everybody out there who's on a diet, not today when it comes to this recipe. And so then I want to blend that up, and then I'll add a little bit of my my wet ingredients. Okay, so now that I got my dry ingredients in there, this is what it looks like. And then I'm just going to start adding my wet ingredients, which is some vanilla, These are 2 eggs that I beat together. And this is some pet milk. It comes in a jar, and it literally says pet milk on it. As you can see, it's not like the normal kind of milk. So I just want to put some pet milk in there. And then I am going to add, some butter that's been sitting out in room temperature, and it kind of got softened. So I'm just going to throw this in the microwave real quick and give this a quick minute in the microwave. So about 20 seconds in the microwave. So while that is in the microwave softening, I did the butter a couple minutes ago, and it's been sitting out for a couple minutes, so it already went and like went back to still how it was. So let's give this a little mix. Okay, and then let's check on the butter. There we go. So now I can't have this sitting, because if I do have this sitting, it's gonna go back to how it was, and then we'll have to warm it up again. So this is just 1 stick of butter, and this is what you want to, this is what you want it to look like. And then we just gonna mix everything completely. Okay, rule number 1. When you do this, you want to make sure you don't ever pull this out like this. Pull it up when it's going, because you're going to get sweet potato pie everywhere. Secondly, you want to make sure it's not too soupy. You still want to have it a little thick, but then you want to have it where it runs. So if you do need to turn it up a little bit to make sure those sweet potatoes are broken down, please do so. So this, like, I want my sweet potatoes to be a little bit more runny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more of that pet milk that I told you guys about, which is right here, and it's still in the can, and it literally says pet milk like I told you guys. So I'm going to add a little bit more of that in there. And normally I do add a whole can, but I like to just like take my time with it, because you don't want to rush the recipe, and I am going to do 2 pies. So I just kind of add it to see how much I really need before just dumping the whole thing. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm looking for. I wanted to do this. Okay, so if I bring it closer to you guys, and of course this is a mess, but here you go. This is what you want your sweet potato pie to look like. So after we get that, I'm gonna bring over my pie crust, and this is what you gotta watch for when you buy pie crust. So these 2 pie crusts that I got, they came in a pack, and it's by Pillsbury. So they were $2. Now I can tell you guys how to make your own dough from scratch, which is easy, and especially if you've seen my cookie dough and my chocolate chip cookies recipe, you can tell that I know how to definitely make it from scratch. So if you do want that from scratch, I can tell you guys how to do that. But I did not do it from scratch today. I just bought Pillsbury, and they're in the frozen section. And I actually picked these up from Walmart, but you can pick them up from any grocery store. And one thing I want to say to you is that when you go in and you look for pie crust, you got to make sure that the crust is not broken around the edges, like They are literally broken all the time. I don't know if people like manhandle them or what, but they are always broken. So I made sure I got one that is perfection, that is not broken, that we can feel. So I got 2, and then all I'm gonna do is start taking my spoon and I'm just gonna start filling it up. So I kind of, you know what, actually I'm just gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna pour it. Pour it. Then I'm gonna pour some in this one. So you don't want to like go crazy with the pouring right away, because you want to make sure it's all leveled off correctly. And the easiest way to do leveling is right here. Now, you might get some puffy sides in there, and you can just take your nail or take a fork and poke some little holes in it so that they lay down flat. So once you get some of your sweet potato pie in there, you want to make sure you fill it up to the rim, but you don't want to overdo it, because you don't want it to go over the pie shell. So I'm gonna just put some more in there, and I'm just put some more in there. Okay, and I just did exactly what is a no-no. So I'm just gonna make sure it's not on my crust, and then I'm gonna give it a shake again, because I want it all to be on the same level and balance like the same. So try to shake it without breaking your crust, because that is possible too. So, and then I'm just gonna lay it down like this. And this is what you want your sweet potato pies to look like. Flat, just like this. So, with that being said, I am going to toss the rest of this. I know some people use theirs as like baby food, but I'm not gonna do that for my nephew. So, I am going to get rid of it. But feel free, if you know you're gonna make some more in a week or so, just keep it, and then add it to your rest of your sweet potato pie. So now that I got my pies all to perfection, and I'm gonna hold one up so you guys can see it. This looks amazing. So this is gonna be there, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven, and I already got my oven set to 350 degrees. So I'm gonna put them in there for about, I want to say, hour and a half, 2 hours. It really depends on how much you use and how long. So you really want the top to be completely like crusted and cooked, and you want to put a fork in there and make sure it has like consistency and it's not still kind of like moving all around and stuff. So I will come back to you guys when I got this in there, and then we'll see how it turned out. Hey you guys, welcome back to my video. And as you can see, our sweet potato pie is all done. I did make 2, but I left that one in the oven because I like that one to be a little bit darker. So let's just get right into this. As you can see, it is done to perfection. When it is golden brown like that, it's done. One thing that I forgot to mention is if you don't like your crust to be very dark or crunchy, you can take some foil and put it around your crust just to bake it, and then when it gets halfway done, then you can take it off. But I don't mind, and I'm actually probably gonna put this one back in the oven just so it can get a little bit darker. But it is done, and like I said, if you like that golden brown look, it is done and it is ready to eat. But it is hot, so I'm not gonna cut it just because I like it to stay you know, from falling apart. So I'm gonna hold that up so you guys can see. And of course, it looks so good. I like my sweet potato pie if I eat it with whipped cream or ice cream. I'm just a fat girl at heart like that. But anyways, thank you for tuning into this video. And the holidays coming up, feel free to use this recipe and make sweet potato pie for your family. And make sure it's at your Thanksgiving table. And I will talk to you guys soon.